Thanksgiving at my sister Monica's house was a command performance. Every year, same place, same expectations. Big house in the suburbs, matching furniture, landscaped yard, 4 kids in private school. I arrived at 3 with the pumpkin pies I'd made. Monica answered the door in a designer dress, her hair professionally styled. "You're late," she said, though I was exactly on time. "Put those in the kitchen. We're using the caterer's desserts. Yours can be backup." The house was full. Monica's husband Jeff and his parents, Monica's 4 kids, ages 8 to 15, our aunt and uncle, Jeff's brother and his family. About 20 people, all dressed for a country club. I was wearing slacks and a nice sweater. Apparently not nice enough, based on Jeff's mother's expression. "Oh, you're here," she said, as if my presence were unexpected despite the invitation. Monica was orchestrating everything from the center of the living room, directing her oldest daughter, Hannah, where to put the wine glasses, telling the caterers where to set up, checking the table settings with the intensity of a general reviewing troops. The dining table was spectacular. China I didn't recognize. Crystal glasses. Place cards in tiny silver holders. I found mine, far end of the table, next to the children's section where Monica's youngest would sit. Everyone else had adult conversation partners. I got the 8-year-old. "Can I help with anything?" I asked Monica. "No, the caterers have it handled. Just stay out of the way." I stood in the living room, holding my wine, feeling like furniture. Jeff's father was talking about his golf game. Jeff's mother was showing photos from their recent cruise. Monica's kids were on their devices, occasionally being told to go play when they got too loud. I'd been paying for those devices indirectly, and their school, and probably a good chunk of their lifestyle. 4 years ago, Monica had called crying. "We can't make the tuition payments. Jeff's investment didn't pan out. We're 2 months behind. They're going to kick the kids out." Lakewood Academy, $32,000 per child per year. 4 kids, $128,000 annually. "How much do you need?" "Just this semester, $16,000 per kid, $64,000 total." I transferred the money. Jeff's bonus apparently never came because Monica called again and again. I'd been paying ever since. Full amount, all 4 kids. Automatic payments directly to the school. Monica never said thank you after that first time. She stopped mentioning it, as if the problem had resolved itself naturally. Dinner was called. Everyone found their place cards. I sat next to 8-year-old Tyler, who informed me he didn't like anything that wasn't chicken nuggets. Monica stood at the head of the table. "I'm so thankful for our beautiful family and our many blessings. We've worked so hard for everything we have." Everyone murmured agreement. Jeff squeezed her hand. The work so hard family who couldn't pay their own kids' tuition. Dinner was served, turkey sides, catered desserts. Everything plated by the staff she'd hired. Conversation flowed around me, Jeff's promotion, Hannah's violin recital, the Christmas ski trip, Lakewood Academy's new science building. "The facilities are incredible," Jeff's mother said. "You must be so proud." "We are," Monica said. "It's worth every sacrifice to give them the best." I took a bite of turkey and said nothing. Hannah, the 15-year-old, was scrolling through her phone despite Monica's no phones at dinner rule. "Mom, Madison's family is going to Aspen for winter break. Can we go?" "We'll see, sweetness. We're already doing the ski trip." "But Aspen is where everyone goes." I said we'll see. The middle children, 12-year-old twins named Sophie and Jake, were arguing about something. Monica shushed them distractedly. Tyler was pushing his green beans around his plate, occasionally kicking the table leg. I was on my second glass of wine when the menus were distributed. Elegant cards listing the meal courses, printed with gold lettering. Monica's touch, making Thanksgiving dinner feel like a restaurant experience. The server placed one in front of each person. When she got to me, Tyler grabbed it before I could. "Aunt Claire doesn't need one," he announced. Monica looked over. "Tyler, give your aunt the menu." "But you said," he looked at his mother, confused. "It's fine," I said. "I can see the food. I don't need the menu." "No, you said maids eat in the kitchen," Tyler insisted to Monica. "You said Aunt Claire is like the help." "That's what you said this morning when I asked why she doesn't dress nice." The table went silent. Monica's face flushed. "Tyler, that's not. You did say that." Tyler was gaining confidence now, looking around at the adults. "You said Aunt Claire can't afford nice things, and that's why she looks like the help. You said people like her eat in the kitchen with the staff." He threw the menu at me. The card hit my chest and landed in my lap. There. Maids eat in the kitchen, Mom says. I looked at Monica. She was frozen, mouth half open. Jeff's mother nodded slowly. Well, there are different levels in every family. It's just natural. Jeff's father grunted in agreement. Some people are workers. Some are achievers. Nothing wrong with that. Our aunt looked uncomfortable but said nothing. Our uncle studied his wine glass. Monica found her voice. Claire, Tyler shouldn't have thrown that. But he's not entirely wrong. You are more comfortable with a simpler lifestyle. Maybe you prefer eating in the kitchen. Less pressure to keep up with the dinner conversation. That's where you belong, Hannah added, not looking up from her phone. Mom says you're basically poor. Hannah. Monica's rebuke was weak. You do say that, Sophie confirmed. You say Aunt Claire is poor, and that's why she drives that old car and wears cheap clothes. Everyone was looking at me now, some with pity, some with agreement, some with embarrassment that the quiet part had been said aloud. I folded my napkin and stood up. Claire, don't be dramatic, Monica said. The kids don't understand. I'm leaving. Oh, come on, you're being too sensitive. It's just a misunderstanding. I walked to the kitchen, grabbed my pies from the backup counter where Monica had relegated them, and left through the side door. No one followed me. In my car, I sat for a moment. Through the window, I could see the dining room. Everyone had returned to eating. Monica was talking animatedly, probably smoothing things over, reframing my exit as an overreaction. Tyler was laughing at something. Hannah was back on her phone. Life continued without interruption. I drove home to my apartment, small, modest, in an older building. The kind of place Monica would call sad or starter, even though I'd lived there for 8 years. I could afford better. I made good money as a software consultant, 6 figures, stable contracts, excellent benefits. But I lived simply because $128,000 of my annual income went to Lakewood Academy. For 4 kids who'd been taught I was basically a maid. I opened my laptop and logged into my bank account. I found the automatic payment setup for Lakewood Academy, 4 monthly payments of $10,667 each. I canceled them all. Then I drafted an email to the school's billing department. Please be advised that I will no longer be covering tuition payments for Hannah, Sophie, Jake, and Tyler Morrison, effective immediately. All future payments are the responsibility of the parents. Thank you. I hit send. Then I went to bed. My phone started ringing at 7 the next morning, Monica's number. I let it go to voicemail. She called again at 7:15, 7:30, 8. Finally, a text. Call me now, emergency. I didn't respond. At 8:30, my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. Ms. Walker, this is Patricia Chen from Lakewood Academy's business office. Yes. I'm calling about the Morrison Children's account. We received your email this morning. I wanted to confirm that you're discontinuing payment for all 4 students. That's correct. I see. The account shows your last payment covered November. December tuition is due next week, and we haven't received authorization for payment. The account balance for all 4 students is now $42,668 for December, and the spring semester payment of $64,000 will be due in January. You'll need to contact the parents about that. We tried. Mrs. Morrison seemed unaware that you were the one paying tuition. She was quite surprised. I imagine she was. Ms. Walker, these children have been enrolled here for 4 years. This is very disruptive. The parents will need to make arrangements. I'm no longer able to contribute. I understand. I'll note that in the file. The parents have until December 10th to bring the account current, or will need to discuss the children's continued enrollment. After she hung up, I made coffee and sat by the window. My phone was blowing up with calls and texts from Monica. Finally, around 10, she showed up at my apartment. I buzzed her in. She burst through my door. What the hell did you do? Good morning, Monica. The school called. They said you've been paying the kids' tuition for 4 years, and now you've stopped. December payment is due, and we don't have $42,000. Then you'll need to find it. Find it? Where? The same place you found it before I started paying. We never had it, you know that. Jeff's income barely covers the mortgage and car payments. Then maybe the kids should go to public school. Her face went red. Public school? Are you insane? Hannah's applying to colleges next year. The twins are finally thriving. You can't just pull them out. I didn't pull them out. I stopped paying for a school you apparently can't afford. You've been paying this whole time and never said anything. You called me crying 4 years ago, asked for help. I helped. You never mentioned it again, so neither did I. But to just stop, without warning. I was called a maid at your Thanksgiving table. Your children threw a menu at me. Your son said I belong in the kitchen. Your daughter called me poor. Your husband's parents agreed. You told them I was like the help. Monica's mouth opened and closed. They're children. They don't understand. You taught them. Tyler repeated exactly what you'd said. That I can't afford nice things. That I look like the help. That people like me eat in the kitchen. I was frustrated. You don't make an effort. You show up in cheap clothes while everyone else dresses nicely. You don't contribute to conversations. You sit there quietly judging everyone, while paying $128,000 a year for your children's education. She stopped. What? $32,000 per child, 4 children, $128,000 annually. I've paid over $500,000 in 4 years. Monica sank onto my couch. $500,000? $512,000 to be exact. I thought Jeff said he restructured his investments, that the money was coming from his portfolio growth. It was coming from my bank account, every month, automatically. She was crying now. Why didn't you tell me? You didn't want to know. It was easier to believe Jeff had fixed it, that you were paying your own way, that your hard work and sacrifices were covering everything. But you were living like this. She gestured around my modest apartment. Well, we had everything. I chose to live like this so I could help. And yesterday your family made it clear exactly what you all think of my choices. Claire, I'm sorry, the kids didn't mean. The kids meant exactly what you taught them, that I'm less than you, that I'm poor and sad and belong in the kitchen with the help. That's not what It's exactly what you said. Tyler quoted you directly. She covered her face with her hands. What do? We can't afford December's payment, let alone the spring semester. That's not my problem anymore. They'll kick the kids out. Then you'll enroll them in public school, like the majority of families do. But the college applications, the connections, the programs. You should have thought of that before teaching your children I was a maid. She looked up at me, mascara running. Please, I'll apologize. We'll all apologize. The kids will write letters. We'll make it right. You can't make it right. You can't give me back 4 years of Thanksgivings where I sat at the kids' table while you talked about sacrifices. You can't undo Tyler throwing the menu at me. You can't unhear Hannah calling me poor while wearing the $700 boots he indirectly paid for. I'll tell them the truth, that you've been helping. They'll be grateful. They'll be embarrassed, and possibly resentful. That's not my problem either. Claire, please, they're children. They need their school. They need parents who can afford it, or parents who teach them not to call their benefactors maids. She stood up. You're really going to do this? Destroy their education because of one dinner? I'm going to stop funding a lifestyle for a family that treats me like hired help. We're family. Family doesn't throw menus at each other. Family doesn't assign seats at the kids' table and say, that's where you belong. Monica walked to the door, then turned back. Jeff's going to be furious. His parents will never let this go. Everyone will know we can't afford Lakewood. Everyone already knows. They just thought it was Jeff's achievement keeping you there. Now they'll know the truth. She left. I spent the rest of the day ignoring calls from Jeff, from Monica again, from Jeff's brother asking me to reconsider, from our aunt gently suggesting I was being harsh. No one called to apologize for the dinner, just to ask me to keep paying. On December 10th, I got an email from Lakewood Academy confirming that Hannah, Sophie, Jake, and Tyler Morrison would not be returning for the spring semester due to non-payment. Monica posted on social media about how they decided public school would be better for the kids. More diversity, more real-world experience, a conscious choice. The comments were supportive, no one knowing the truth. I spent my first December in 4 years not budgeting for tuition payments. I booked a vacation, updated my wardrobe, looked at nicer apartments. I lived like someone who made 6 figures instead of like someone who paid for 4 private school tuitions. My Thanksgiving pies, the ones Monica had relegated to backup, sat in my freezer for a week before I threw them away. Next year, I'd make them for friends, for people who didn't assign me to eat in the kitchen, for people who understood that maids should be treated with respect anyway, and that I'd never been the maid at all. I'd been the benefactor. They just couldn't see it past their own reflections in the expensive china.